Hello everyone, long time no see. It's Papyrus, formerly known as Pluto and still forever known on the internet as Yojo. Um, it has been a long time because there's just been a lot of drama going on in my life with the home life and some of the work life. Um, I have decided to move out of this house, and with that will bring the end of an era. And also, I'll be moving out shortly after my first year anniversary of living in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and that was fun. I didn't do anything. I like the St. Patrick's parades or week here, based on what I've been told. The one in St. Paul has like clans in it and bands. So if your clan is in the parade or your person in band in the parade, that's fun. But like, there's no floats in it or anything. Like, um, more major parades, especially like Boston is like the up front demonstration of St. Patrick's parades and celebrations in the United States. But also, I come from a smaller town, and we celebrate Mardi Gras instead of St. Patrick's Day because we're French heritage, not Irish. So I I'm really disappointed that the parades here are such a low scale. At the same time, the weather between where I'm from, the places that I've been, and here are very different. It was very gloomy yesterday, so for people that were outside, and it was probably pretty so planning for that kind of weather, knowing that that is a consistent thing that happens in this area, you make the parade short and whatnot. So I didn't feel like it was worth going. I made a picture a few days ago, actually, and I might post that publicly for the internet's enjoyment. Maybe, maybe not, but I definitely did something in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. And some luck did hit me, but I will not divulge into that because that is a part of the drama that has been going on. But some luck did come out of it. Just being in this house for, how long have I been here? Like 9 months. I got here August of last year, so it wouldn't be 9 months, but moving out in May, it's been one unpleasant thing after another with the other housemates. And I do hope that the new housemates will not be like us at all. A lack of communication and respect was a lot of what made this house fall apart, and it's been hard for everyone involved. And I am the last of the whatever era I can call it moving out of the house. This house used to have a focus on transness, and that is no longer a thing, with the other housemate in this room having already moved in, being a cis person. The other housemate is already leaving, and I will be leaving in April. And I'm happy for it. I'm glad that I'm moving on and moving into a new chapter in my life. Or maybe just another new page, seeing as how I'm not leaving Minneapolis just yet. But definitely moving on from here. And I hope that my future endeavors are less unpleasant. Like, I like action and entertainment, but I definitely didn't like what was going on here. A lot of the problems were people replacing themselves without communicating to the other housemates, people having issues and not being upfront to the other housemates. Actually, that second one's a whole lot of the problem. And then when issues do arise, they're handled very poorly. And I can definitely say that I was a part of that problem in the most recent case. But there have been other cases where I wouldn't say I was that bad, but like, I can definitely take responsibility for what I did here. But no more of that. I do hope that for the next housemates, this is a peaceful, happy place, and I hope that they also clean off the spaces that could not be cleaned off while I was here. and enjoy the entire house and the garage and the basement. And I hope everything works out. I wish nothing but the best for the future of the housemates here. And I want to get back to the things that I was doing before shit just went down. I stopped writing my stories. I definitely want to get back to that. I'm coming out of the season for it now, so I'm trying to ask inspiration to be there for me through spring and fall, like I'm doing other things to get these stories out. For your entertainment and enjoyment, they are fanfics. Get back to writing letters to home. I stopped doing that over this time because I was so focused on the drama going on, and not just here, but also in other places. And get back in frequent touch with friends that I've made that live in other parts of the world. And also try to find some ways to make new friends in other parts of the world. And with that being said, with Irishness being on the mind, I talked to someone yesterday, or the day before yesterday, that is from Ireland and lives here now, but goes back and forth to home, is able to visit home, and has a very thick Irish accent. And since I met that person from Australia, met those people, Tess and, oh God. Oh shit, please don't be mad at me for forgetting your name. I only remember Tess's name because it's like Tesla. And Silverstone, I remember your last name, Silverstone. I assimilated the Australian accent, and she also assimilated my southern accent. So whenever we think about each other, I don't know if that's still a thing. It's been a long time since we've seen each other. We're going on a year since we've seen each other, but for that time, whenever we think about each other, we would do that. And I felt myself starting to assimilate the Irish accent within a few seconds of talking to this person. So now that I'm subconscious about it, I try not to do it. But that's just one of the things that I like about meeting new people. Just hearing different accents and like, hey, maybe even picking it up. But like now that I'm subconscious about it, I would definitely tell people like I'm not making fun of you. That's just what happens. And I also recently met someone that is just out of New Orleans. And while I was talking to that person, my brain felt weird. Like, I felt like I was trying to assimilate that person's accent, but my brain was conflicted because I didn't have to. But I do know that my accent has lost some of its pep from not being home for so long and not being able to visit and not talking to a lot of people from home on the phone. But I do want to visit home. I feel bad for not visiting because all these people that I've met, including the person from Ireland, visit home with such a frequency, and I have not been able to visit yet, and I am not that far from my home than that person is from Ireland. Though I don't feel like I should really beat myself up about it because of my situation. Obviously, this is the first stable place I've had to live since I've started nomadically traveling. And we could say that since I've been in a place for a year, I've stopped nomadically traveling. But now that I'm here, and it's been a year, and I'm suddenly going through all these changes again, but I do want to make time to go home if I continue to live a stable life here. And I would also like to have a place for my parents to visit, which they said something about being able to come up here in June for a wedding last time I talked to them, but I don't know if that's the thing that's going to happen. And in June, I'm also going on vacation. But at any other time, I would want my extended out there friends and family, and by extended, I mean in location, not in blood, because that's not even a thing. to be able to come visit and be able to share what I have, like people have shared what they have with me. That's what I hope for. It's unfortunate that it couldn't happen here, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to regret it. I'm not going to look back on it. It definitely needed to be what it was for me to learn from it. Now we'll move on. And I will see all of you on the other side. Ta!